So, welcome everybody, and thank you for coming on this Tuesday night. I'm Elizabeth Glabe, and I am the new volunteer and program coordinator, taking over for Liz Paul, who's been with you for several years. And I'm very, very happy to be here. And I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping that you should be on mute while our speakers are doing the presentation part. You can put questions in the chat. As you just heard, the meeting's being recorded. And let's try not to ask too many questions so we don't get off task. Joanne's going to talk a little bit, and then Sam Bellis is going to talk. And then we can open up for more questions and answers at the end. We'll try to keep this meeting to a little around an hour, okay? So I'm going to introduce Joanne, and Joanne will kick things off a little more. Thanks, Joanne.
Okay, I think I'm here. Let me make sure I'm turned on.
You just turned yourself off. There you are.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I want to welcome everybody. There are over 100 of you out there. We have 96 plus counters, and our registration will be closed after tonight. I know some zone leaders have more counters than they probably need, and so feel welcome. Make yourself comfortable with these zone leaders, and they have a lot to teach you, and you have the eyes and ears that they need. We also have 14 zone leaders. We have Stephanie Lowe and Denise Hughes who are compiling the data. So there are a lot of volunteers, so we really appreciate everybody. Some very important basics for you. We found this is super important. You need to start your day with a fully charged phone and carry a battery pack if you have one. If you use Merlin, Merlin does run down the battery pretty quickly, at least on my phone. And so if you're working with Merlin, you might consider not keeping the eBird list, because that will be a double battery issue for you. So at any rate, with cold weather, the batteries run down quickly. So be prepared to have a battery pack if you have one. I know there's a possibility it might be rain, so we go no matter what the weather is. Some zone leaders I know are not starting till 9. Some people are owling, and so they'll start very early. My suggestion is, of course, and you know this because you're outdoors people, dress for the weather, and find a coffee shop to dive into occasionally if you need to warm up or get a cocoa or something. Not all of you are working all day, so be sure to let your zone leader know how long you have and what your schedule is. They'll have checked with you ahead of time. Oh, this is important too, really. So we have people coming for pizza, and we'd love for everybody to come if you can come. We do have many maybes on the RSVP list, and so if you are a maybe, I think there are probably 40 of you, you might decide yes or no, you are going to come or you're not going to come, so I know how many pizzas to order. Otherwise, we might not have enough. And we'll have drinks and pizzas for you. We will have a contribution kitty. If you'd like to make a contribution to the meal or to the gratuity, you're certainly welcome to do that. In fact, we'd appreciate it, but it's not necessary. We really want to celebrate you because you are the backbone of our organization. You're the volunteers who show up for everything, and I just can't tell you how much we appreciate you. You know that Christmas bird count has been in place in Boise since, I think, 1972, but it's been in place nationally since 1900. So it's considered the longest running citizen science project in the world. And so you're a part of it, and it's very important. Cornell University tracks bird migration, um, deficits in bird populations, movements in bird populations, like for instance, the Anna's hummingbird we have here all year, and it looks like if the snow doesn't come, they'll have plenty of bugs to eat all winter. We'll see. But anyway, we also can track those accidentals that show up that we're so excited about, like the black and white warbler or the orange crown warbler. So somebody might see one of those. I heard there's a cackling goose out there too at Lakeview Pond. So anyway, that's basically all I have to say. I hope at the end you get some of your questions answered if you have any. And if they're super specific and we can't figure them out tonight, we'll listen to them and give you a call tomorrow.
Can I
Oh,
can I
yes.
say something? This is Denise. Can I say something about the unusual birds?
Yeah,
I need some sort of documentation or photos for unusual birds like the black and white warbler. The if when you put it in eBird, if it comes up rare, I'm going to need some sort of documentation. Um, in eBird, you can, if you put a description for the bird, and then even if you will just make note that it goes to your zone leader, check, black and white warbler, checklist number such and such or whatever. Um, Both the checklist number plus, where it was. I can just even use that. If you can use photos, that even helps. That's a good thing. But I do need, if a bird is going to come up as rare or as unusual, I do need to have some sort of documentation for it.
okay. Thank you, Denise. I really appreciate that. And another thing, Denise needs you to add in your trip report your zone number. And so if you're keeping a list, you need to put your zone in there. And I experimented with this a little bit, and I had trouble getting my zone in my track when I was doing eBird. And so, Denise, I just put it in the comments section. And does that work? So in other words, when I do a bird list, if I put zone 4 or whatever in the comment section, will you find that?
Yeah, we can find it there.
Okay.
It would be easiest if it was in the checklist name, but
Okay.
I understand that, there's hotspots and everything already set up, and people um, aren't going to want to set up um, new areas in eBird.
Okay. So as a last case resort, as a last resort, put your zone number in your comments. That'll be available for you. Two more things I do want to say. If you have questions, there are two very good recorded meetings. One was from December 10th. It was Elizabeth emailed access to a program that will answer questions. And also on November 13th, Will Miller did a presentation answering eBird questions that will also be available. So those two dates, if you can plow back through your email, December 10th and November 13th, you will find some recordings that should answer some questions. Okay, I think I'll turn it over to Sam.
Hello. I correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm just talking about um just making sure that and I'm sure you all are, but especially if you're newer to the Christmas bird count, take a look at eBird and figure out what hotspots you're going to and looking at what birds are there. So there are a couple rare birds out or less common birds out here. So knowing what birds that might be a little unexpected are going to be in your area and just knowing what birds to look out for while you're out there and at certain areas. Because I know sometimes we're really focused on some birds and might not be expecting to see something. So just making sure you're aware of what's around and looking out for those birds. Elizabeth, was I supposed to talk about anything else? Yes?
Oh, let's see. How about, I think that's about it really. They can find those references to unusual birds where? I mean, where would you
Oh,
suggest?
yeah. Okay. I mean, on eBird is where I recommend. So just looking at the, I opened Merlin. Going to the explore area and finding the hotspots, and then looking at the last, I can't remember what it is, last 30 days, last 14 days. Looking at like likely and then the last 30 days. And that's good for any birds that are a little unexpected. So going through that, and then, if there's any birds that you're not sure about, especially with waterfowl, just kind of brushing up on that. But yeah, that's the best place. The eBird has rare bird alerts. The only things on there right now is the black and white warbler and a red-shouldered hawk. And there was one other bird. But it's through eBird, but I always just Google rare bird alert and Boise, and it pops up. And you can look through that. And the nice thing about that is it'll show you if it's a confirmed sighting or not. And so if there's something that seems a little odd and there's only unconfirmed sightings, that's a good thing to keep out for. But yeah, so definitely just brush up on what birds you're expecting to find in your zone, basically, and just being kind of prepared to see some things you might not have expected to see.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, look through those flocks of Canada geese really carefully. It's not uncommon to have a cackling goose or two or three in them. So make sure you know the difference between a cackling goose and a Canada goose. And be aware too, we get two subspecies of Canada goose here. So if it's a small goose with a square head, it's probably a lesser Canada goose, not a cackler.
And Dean, I will say somebody did report a cackling goose in your zone, so you might be aware of that. Somebody that you will use as a counter. So anyway, I guess we can see if there are any questions. This is recorded, and there are a couple of other recordings online. But does anybody have any confusions or questions or concerns that you need to talk about or ask about?
Well, in talking about the cackling goose, Sam would know if it's considered a rare bird right now. I'm unsure, but sometimes even if a bird is uncommon status, you might do a rare bird report on it. It helps the people back in national, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've got a question. I've got a question for you. This is Gary. Just curious, will our zone leader get a hold of us before Saturday morning by email, or are we just planning on meeting up with our zone leader I think I'm at 8 at Fairmont. So
No, your zone leader, what zone are you in?
12.
12. Okay. Elizabeth, I have it on my computer. Who's the zone leader for 12?
That's Christopher Well.
Okay, Christopher. Oh, Gary, were you a late sign up?
Yeah, that was about a week ago.
Okay, Christopher should be getting in touch with you before the day, and he'll let you
Okay.
know, yeah, where to meet, what time to meet. Yeah, so that it'll happen well in advance.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the location and everything. I was just curious about the just if I was going to have contact before. So
Yeah, he'll get in touch with you, and we'll make sure that happens.
thanks, Joanne.
Has anyone else not heard from their zone leader at this point? Unless you signed up today or over the weekend? Marla, you haven't either? Okay.
What
We
zone,
have,
Marla?
I'm zone 9.
Okay. Okay. I'll reach out to them and remind them of their duties, and you should hear from them via email shortly.
Oh, it looks like several people haven't heard. So Amanda, I think you just signed up today or yesterday maybe, and I think you're going to be in Dean's zone. So he'll look through his list and find you there.
Yeah, I haven't checked the last couple days, but I've
Yeah.
contacted all other 10 people. And so Amanda, I will contact you by email this evening. Next, oh, the question just blanked on me. I'll get back.
Any other concerns or questions from either zone leaders or counters? Anything
Oh,
else?
I remember. If
Okay.
I've already designated, I've got a subgroup who's going to be a trip reporter,
Mm-hmm.
but someone else wants to do that. Can I undesignate someone?
Well, just talk with them. If they've already accepted, their invitation to be on the trip report, and you'd rather have somebody else keep the list, they just need to know about it. So we don't have more than one person in that group keeping the list. Yeah, maybe they want to be off the hook. So, or some people don't want to work all day.
But
So just let them know.
my question is, can I undesignate someone as a
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, actually. I have no idea. That would
maybe
be,
Denise knows that.
Designate somebody as not being in your zone?
no, as being a counter or a,
We're going to change counters.
mhm.
I'm not sure, Dean. I've never tried that before.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll just have the uh, one of them be dark and the other one will be the counter.
Yeah.
This is Rich. I have not heard from Alec, my zone leader for Zone 9, as far as where we're going to meet prior to the start for the day.
Okay, Rick, have you been signed up for a while?
Yeah, I've been a couple weeks
Okay.
at least.
I noticed that Alec did
To know about.
ask for some extra people too. I mean, he invited some extra people. So let's write his name down and be sure he contacts everybody. And yes, he will be contacting you soon.
If you look at your invitation from Alec, he actually has the location embedded in the invitation, I think. We're meeting at Starbucks at 8 o'clock on Glenwood.
Okay.
But you should look for that to make sure you have it also.
Yeah, I'm looking at my email now.
Okay.
Joanne, this is Pat McGrain. I was wondering, how do I know whether the people in my group have accepted the trip report? Because I figure anybody can do anybody can be the recorder for any hotspot we want as long as there's just one of them. Just like normal, if you went birding with 6 people and you say, okay, you do the first one, I'll do the second one. And that's what I would hope to do.
Well, but they do need to be invited to be on the trip report if you want their information to go to Denise and to you. And so, I'm not sure about that. After you invite somebody, how that's actually shown on eBird. Does anybody else know the answer to that?
Yes, it shows up. If you go to eBird on your desktop and My eBird and then trip reports and then manage people, you see the names of who's accepted, who's been invited but not accepted, and you can even remove somebody who accepted the invite if they no longer want to be part of the trip report.
Oh, and that was Dean.
Like they're gonna go birding somewhere else in Boise that day and they don't want it showing up.
So Dean, that was your question too. about whether or not you can take somebody off the list. And so, Pat, I might ask you, have you looked at my eBird manage people and gone down to your list? Maybe that's where we're looking for it.
No, I haven't, but I actually don't know if I ever sent anybody something to
Oh, an
accept the
invite?
trip report. I thought you sent them when they signed up. They got the trip. It wasn't one of the questions when you sign up. You wanted to be on the trip report. That
No,
nothing I sent, but something that Golden Eagle sent them.
no, that would be you because you get to decide who you want to have input data. And so I don't know who you've decided to have.
Well, I was like I say, I was going to have them all. I mean, I just say, well, okay, you do Catherine Albertson Park, you do Ann Morrison, I'll do the Ann Swanson Trail or
Yeah,
whatever.
you can do
But I
that.
didn't send out anything to any of them, so I have to go. Where do I find that?
You have to go into the Boise Trip Report and issue them an invitation.
Oh,
And
I didn't
so,
know I could.
yeah, you'll
Yeah.
find in there. If you go to my eBird trip report, edit, manage people, you'll see there's a path that you can follow. But if you have trouble with that, after you experiment a little bit, we can help you with it. I can send you the
Hey,
sta-
Pat. Hey, Pat, have Joanne send you the directions because she sent those to me and they were very complete to follow. Like, and I too, Pat, invited everyone.
Yeah,
So
I don't think I've invited anyone. I just assumed they were all invited.
if they were on eBird, I invited them, and then that morning I'll designate who's going to keep the trip report for, because some people might leave, some people might not, some people might not show up because of the rain.
Right,
So I just invited everyone that had eBird.
right.
Yeah, I invited everybody, but most people did not respond. I've had a terrible time getting people to respond to me when I send information out and ask questions.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I better work on that then.
Well, I'll send you out the steps. And actually, you guys are doing great. Seriously. I mean, it's all, it's new to a lot of people. And I kind of just troubleshoot by experimenting. So I'm not always the best one to ask off the cuff, but I can send you the links. And it's okay to invite everybody. You need to be careful not to double count. So two people don't want to do the same area.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And so there's plenty of time. Don't worry about it. It's all going to
Yeah,
work out.
because like I just thought I've always thought that trip reports are very difficult, so I don't do them. And
Yeah.
but everyone tells me how easy they are, so I assume this time, oh, they're all signed up because it's so easy. Look, everybody's automatically signed up. I don't have to do anything. But
No,
because I
they said in
didn't
the
invite
first meeting
anybody,
we
and I
had
have
that you
like
had to
7
invite
people.
them.
What's that?
They said in the first meeting that we had as zone leaders that you had to invite them.
Well, I didn't invite anybody to be my group, and I have 7 people signed up for it.
Well, you got to invite them to be in as part of the
Oh.
trip report. Signing up doesn't make them part of the trip report.
Well, see, I thought it did. So, okay.
But now we know, and it's an easy process, and don't even worry about it. It's all gonna.
All right. All right.
You have a great zone, and you have some really good counters.
Yeah, I have a lot of good people in this zone.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Any other concerns or questions? I'm glad some of this, I'm really glad is coming out.
I had a question, if I may.
Okay.
So circling back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier in terms of like if we happen to see an uncommon bird, I'm assuming and we how if we could just retouch on like if I'm a recorder, and eBird is asking me like, well, how do you know you saw the bird that you saw? Can we, how definite do we like, is it, does eBird, I wanted to like just confirm, do we need to have photo evidence, or is it just a description of the bird? I know that we can also include sound recordings if we happen to hear the bird, but like at what point, like how extensive does it need to be in order to ensure that eBird is just like, whenever they have someone review it, they're just like, yeah, you are telling the truth, you saw the bird that you saw.
Denise, would you like to take that one?
Yes, I will. So, photo evidence is great, but it's not necessary. If you, in fact, see like the black and white warbler, I need a description, black and white stripes, where you're seeing it in the canopy, what it's doing. In this case, it'd be a continuing bird. You can put that. Don't just put continuing bird. I need some sort of description. Just describe the bird the best you can. The color of the bill, the color of the legs. Is the tail longer than the wings? Just those kind of things.
Okay.
Just something that will let me know that that is what you actually saw. Like I said, the photos are great.
Totally.
But they're not totally, they're not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
If you're having trouble trying to figure out what to call something, if any of you have got any of the birding guides, like on your phone, like Sibley's and stuff, if you go in there, they will give you field marks. And, if you think, say you've got a Pacific loon somewhere, I don't know, in Canyon County, that might not be a rare bird, but it might be a rare bird in Boise. Like mute swans are not rare in Ada County, but they are in Canyon County, just because they're not birds that we normally get. So they're also looking, birds that shouldn't be here this time of year, like say a Western tanager. I mean, we shouldn't have Western tanagers this time of year. Normally, they would not be a rare bird, but this time of the year, it would be a rare bird. And so I need, a description. Just don't tell me. I know I've seen lots of Western tanagers and I know what they look like. That doesn't help me.
Fair. That makes sense. Thank you.
So, okay.
If I could
Sorry, I
jump
didn't mean to cut you off. You're welcome to describe it, but that helps me. Thank you.
in Cameo, we'll go over all of this when we meet for coffee.
Okay, beautiful. Perfect. I appreciate it.
But other things that reviewers like, what kind of optics are you using? What was the distance to the bird? How many people saw it? Just kind of that historical narrative too.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Cam?
It sure does. I appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else have some concerns? It's good that we're getting this all taken care of. If you haven't heard from your zone leader by tomorrow, after the registration is closed, send us an email and we'll get to that. We'll take care of it, because you do need to hear from them before the morning of. It's kind of nerve-wracking not to. So, but if that's all the questions, I think we can probably say goodnight. I mean, what do you think, Elizabeth?
Hey, Joanne, I
Yes.
have just a couple of comments in regards to Merlin that I've learned recently.
Okay.
I hadn't used it for a while, and I noticed that it asked me to update my Idaho pack. So make sure you do that if you haven't. And also, it now spends even up to 30 or 45 seconds when I first open it on a day to load and show me the bird of the day, which I don't really care about. But in the meantime, I've lost that time recording the bird I want to identify. So first thing Saturday morning, open Merlin up and get that part out of the way and then close it down till later.
That's good feedback.
Okay, so just to close, if there's no more questions, if you did not register through Volunteer Local, you need to do that tonight. And I do ask you to do that, not just give us your names and get put on a list. There's a liability waiver. We collect some other information. And so it is important that you're registered through Volunteer Local. And then I want to say thank you to all my leaders who are going to lead all of you. They are doing a good job, and I will get on the few that haven't reached you. And if you registered late, the email may have been sent a week ago, so we'll get on them. And then a big thank you to Joanne and Sam who have walked me through learning about the Christmas bird count and been extremely helpful. And so if you have trouble on Saturday, reach out to your leader. You will have their contact information and happy birding. Yay.
Yes, and I will say too, I'm going to be available Saturday morning too. So if you can't reach somebody, you can usually reach me. So there's.
I have a quick question. You mentioned these other recordings that we could listen to, and
Yes.
I went back through my email. I'm not seeing anything, so I'm not sure who would have sent those or how I can watch those.
That would be me, and I will send them out again tonight or
thank you.
tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Hey, this is Alcandris. Could we get your phone numbers? So if we need to call you, we'll have a direct cell number to call.
That would be me. Yes.
Both of you.
Okay. This is Joanne. 208-331-0998.
And again?
Pardon?
Say again?
208-331-0998.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Some of those links have been put in the chat if you want to give people a few minutes to find those and click on them.
Elizabeth, can you also answer? Ingrid had one more question in the chat that I don't know the answer to. How do we know if we are on Volunteer Local? And they said we have volunteered before.
And I'm pretty sure, Ingrid, you were signed up. So you would have gone in and actually signed up and said if you were coming to pizza and what your eBird name was on Volunteer Local since November 1st. Ingrid, I'm pretty sure I saw yours come through the other day, but if not, I'll reach out to you personally.
I know that the broodnails are on the list, on my list. So, yeah, and I think you're in zone 12 or, oh no, you're in Jay's zone, I think. Yeah.
5, maybe.
No, I think that might be 8.
We're in zone 8 with Jay
Oh,
Cameron.
yeah.
Zone 8. Oh, okay. I wrote it down wrong.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's 14 of them. So
I have a question for any of the leaders here. What if we get walk-ons in terms of Volunteer Local tomorrow or the 20th?
I can address that. Just let them walk on and welcome them. We're trying to encourage people to be inclusive, and if they just show up, know that they haven't been invited to the trip report. Let them be eyes and ears. Explain to them that next year they probably should sign up. That's
what I thought.
Yes,
that would be my MO.
Can I say something about that though?
It's the best we can do.
Well, can I say something about it? The eBird database wants to know everybody who participated. So if they are going to be doing a lot of birding and reporting birds themselves, we need names. I need a name and a phone number to go into the database.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
that's the National Audubon database, right, Denise?
Yes, that's one of the things when we compile the data, they have a participant page and they want everybody's name who participates in it. I don't know that it's such a big deal anymore. It used to be, they sent out the magazine and stuff, but they don't do that anymore. So I don't know if it's still such a big deal, but that page is still there.
Yes, I think they still want it because it helps with them understanding the effort. What they really want us to do is have everybody sign up using their system, but I don't know how many people actually use it. I don't
Yeah.
think any of the CBCs in Southwest Idaho use their sign up.
None to my knowledge.
well, we really are doing our best to
You want me to confirm?
I
To do-
confirm that you can do it too.
Oh,
Do you want to do the whole day? I told her we're going to be for part of it.
well, the first half, right?
Ingrid, you're on speaker.
Sorry.
but we're interested. So I just would like to remind everybody to please let us know on Volunteer Local or on your registration page whether or not you do plan to come to eat pizza, so we can order the correct amount. And I would just like to say thank you so much for for helping out. We have over 100 people who are going to be out there doing their best to do their best. I really appreciate it. We all do.
Well, if there's nothing else, then watch for an email with the recording and shoot me questions if you have them, and you should be hearing from your zone leader. All right. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.